Review our repositories, our objects, and whatnot. So in the topic, right, we still need to keep track of the parent lesson, right? So we should have a private string here of lesson ID. Notice that everywhere here where I'm using integers, right, for the primary key of the of everything that's being stored in the relational database, right? But in the for the implementation so far, for doing the courses, the modules, the lessons, that is using a Node.js database for storage of those primary keys. So those primary keys are all strings. They're 32-bit unique identifiers. They're strings. And so to have these two worlds kind of coexist, right? Here all the topics, all the widgets have integers, but the IDs for lessons and courses and whatnot, those are strings. So here I'm gonna represent the parent lesson as a string ID, right? The ID for the lesson will be a string. Again, only because I'm coexisting two different databases, right? There, and so I need to know that if you select a particular lesson, right, that maps to these topics that belong to that particular lesson. Okay. All right, so we'll need to create the setters and getters for this. So we'll say we'll generate the setters and getters. We'll say OK. Right, and if we restart this, it's going to try and alter my topics table and add a column. See that? It added the lesson ID column, right, to my topics table that was not there. If I go to a database and I refresh my topics, we'll see that now it has a lesson ID field that was not there before, right? It added it, it altered it. Okay, that's the beauty of having configured this, having configured in my application.properties, having configured an update here in the DDL. Right? It says you can alter the schema, right, if it's already there. Instead of this would have been create, it would have dropped the schema, right? Would have thrown away all my 20 widgets that I have, right, and recreated the table from scratch. And that's not what I want, right? So update allows you to keep the data and keep going. So it will try. Sometimes it cannot, right? So if it's a different data type, like if you want to migrate from a varchar to an integer, right? It cannot do that. It can migrate from integers to varchar, because integers can be represented as strings, yes? But you cannot migrate from something from a higher level data type to a lower level data type. Like, so for instance, if you're migrating from varchar to integers, you can't do that because not all strings can be represented as integers, right? So when data is going to be truncated, it will stop, right? It says, no, I can't do that. You'll need to do it yourself. You'll do the migration yourself. So in this case, because it was not truncating any data, it was fine to add that new column. Excellent.